Hey folks, Paul Phillips here with PathTech Photography and Gear Reviews. I hope everybody had a great 2018. I hope you had a nice Christmas holiday and a Happy New Year. I was reflecting on 2018 thinking, geez, what could I do for 2019 for a first video? And probably the last 6 months of 2018 I spent in the studio here cleaning things up and organizing and put some new tool cabinets in place to make my life a little easier, make it more efficient. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's take a look. Okay, so one of the first things that I did to get my tripods and light stands and everything up off the floor, as you can see behind me, is I made this real simple rack. It's about 6 feet off of the floor, 1/2-inch plywood. It's about 15 inches deep, and very simple construction, just 2x4s, a couple of angle cuts. So you could put this together with some 2x4s plywood, a jigsaw, and some wood screws and a power driver. Not really difficult to build. As you can see, there's a little bit of sag in the plywood, but it works really well. And I don't have, my 2 heavy tripods are in use right now. One of them the camera's sitting on, but they fit on here as well. So, light stands fit in nice and easy. Extension arms, sensory stand parts, you name it, I can put everything here. And then I found these cool coat hangers that have kind of a 6-inch extension on them. And when I put them into the 2x4s, I was able to mount my umbrellas and things like that, and just keep everything organized. So that's the first thing. Honestly, it's changed my life. I don't know how I functioned without it before. That's tip number 1, so let's see what's next. Okay, so the first gear tip that I thought I'd share with you, and I apologize for the noise, is if you're new to YouTube or you want to up your game when it comes to audio, the audio device that I've been using, and again, apologies for the noise. Gonna unwind this thing a little bit. There it is, Azden Pro XD lavalier microphone system. And it comes in 2 pieces, both about the same size. Transmitter fits on the camera. It's got a little bit of an antenna to it. Another wire goes to a 3.5mm jack, goes to the side of the camera. And when I bought this, the stock microphone was, not very good. And then about a year later, I think it was, Azden came out with a 507 lav mic, and it was like 50 bucks. Highly worth the price of admission, okay? So what I find with this lav system is that I don't have to wear the mic up here. I can wear it down here. Audio quality gives you a really nice fat audio signal. Some of you audiophiles out there are like, oh, there's better microphones. I'm sure there is. If you want the latest technology and audio information, check out Curtis Judd's website. He's the guy that I look to if I'm going to buy a new microphone. I want it as good, bad, or different. This guy's an audio expert for sure. I'm not. I just know good audio when I hear it. And I get frustrated sometimes like you when I look at a YouTube video and the audio is terrible. So if you're looking to up your game, Azden Pro XD, a couple of $100, and I think the new version comes with the 507 lav mic built in, or comes with the kit, so that might save you a few bucks as opposed to me, I had to buy it extra. But okay, so that's the first gear tip. Let's move on. Okay, so the next gear tip I'm going to give you is about keyboards. And like you, I've used a plethora of them over the years. I prefer the chiclet style, like what you find on a MacBook Pro laptop. And so I have another Logitech Solar keyboard, similar to this one, but it's for my Apple TV. And honestly, between you, me, and the lamppost, I have no use for the number keypad here. I'm not into accounting or anything like that. I'm a retoucher, photographer, production guy, video production, that kind of stuff. This keyboard I think you'll find quite useful. I really enjoy it. It has a Bluetooth connection. Basically, once you set it, you can forget it. And I've never had any issues with a lack of power or any issues with it not working. The keyboard feel is great. There's some programmable keys on it. So this is the Logitech K750 solar-powered Bluetooth keyboard. Check it out. I think you'll find it very helpful. Okay, so let's talk a couple of seconds about computer mice. I would describe myself as a power user. I'm in front of the computer all day long doing video production, photography, retouching. You know, same thing in my day job. I'm an instructional designer by trade. And so we start talking about mice, meese, and, you know, you got to have them, which ones are the best. I've spent a lot of money on mice in some cases, and I bought the budget-oriented ones and everything in between. So I have two of these guys here. This is the MX Master, and I also have the older version, which is the Precision MX, I think it is. And so the Logitech MX Master and the previous model, I don't think you can beat them as far as ergonomics go. So for ergonomics and usability, I would say 10 out of 10 for this mouse. Pricing, you know, I'm in Canada here, about an hour north of Toronto, so I'm not even sure pricing is valid in the US. You know, if I paid $150 for this, you probably get it for 75 bucks in the US. So just check it on Amazon or wherever you're going to purchase from, and go do it that way. But I was looking on Black Friday, just before Christmas. I think that was around the end of November here. They have this Black Friday sale. And Best Buy had a whole ton of Razer mice laid out. And I never really heard of them before, never paid much attention. You know, when I think about all of the production stuff I do, have absolutely no interest whatsoever in gaming. The only time I've ever gamed is when my son dragged me into Warcraft one time. Other than that, most of what I do is production. And I'm always conscious of, you know, the feel or the touch that I'm using when I'm using a mouse, because I'm afraid of getting carpal tunnel being a power user. And the one thing I've noticed about the Logitech mice is that the feel is a little bit heavier, especially when you're doing 8-10 hours a day in front of a PC. And so these were all laid out at Best Buy, and I thought, wow, this thing is super light. You know, it's a laser. This is the wired version. So this is the Razer DeathAdder mouse. It's officially classed as a gaming mouse. It has a couple of buttons on the side that are programmable. So I've got one of them set. I can just hit the button and it opens Photoshop for me automatically, which is kind of cool. And I paid 50 bucks for it on sale. I don't think I'd pay 100 bucks for it. To me, 50 bucks seemed to be about right, so having bought it on sale was a good thing. But if you're looking for an alternative to maybe one of these guys, and you want something that has a nice light feel, I'm really enjoying using this Razer DeathAdder mouse. And from what I've seen from Razer, they got a whole line of products, and their user interface is really cool. You can program so many features on this mouse. Is just way too many features for me to talk about in this video. But I think this is a really good tip. It's a great mouse. Check it out if you're interested. And let's take a look at my next tip. So the next piece of gear that I want to talk to you about is the camera that you're using to shoot your videos with. So a couple of years ago, you know, I started getting complaints. I was shooting in my videos in 720p, and guys were calling in, oh man, make it 1080p, blah, blah, blah. So my professional cameras are a couple of older D200s, which I still use to this day. Great camera, absolutely love them. 10 megapixels, but they're getting long in the tooth, and I couldn't shoot video with them. So I had the option of using my Sony a6000, which is a great camera, and I've shot video with it, but I haven't really gotten into doing what I'm doing here for YouTube with it. I may at some point, but so I sort of ruled that one out. I use that one for vacation all the time though. It's absolutely amazing. And I started looking at Nikon line, and what I found was Nikon D3200, 3300, 3400, 3500. And the beauty of those cameras is that Nikon made an absolute plethora of them, okay? But here's the thing. The 3300 is the one that I chose because I can buy them all day long on Kijiji for about 250 bucks. Sometimes you can get them with a kit lens, which is the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, which is a fantastic lens. What I did was I purchased one, and I purchased the Nikon 35mm 1.8 because I wanted something that would be low light, good for video, you know, bokeh for photos. So yeah, so I bought the body that I'm shooting with now for 250 bucks But the one thing that I want to point out to watch for is that, and by the way, I'm shooting the lens that's on the camera right now is a Sigma 17 to 50-2.8, which works really well, but it's $400. These guys, the 35-1.8, you can pick them up for under $200. So I leave that choice up to you. The thing to watch out for is that after the 3300, the 3400 and the 3500, Nikon took the audio jack away from the D3400. So there's no audio jack on a 3400, 3500. So if you're buying those cameras to shoot video, they have the Wi-Fi capability, but no audio jack. So what I'm saying is, just to sort of recap everything, if you're looking for a cheap camera to shoot video for YouTube, Nikon D3300, buy them used, $250, maybe less in the US. Great little camera, shoots 1080p video, good quality. You can adjust the white balance, and you can hook up. My Azden Pro XD is hooked up to it right now. As you can see, I've got the receiver in the pocket. The lav is clamped right here, so it works with all that stuff, and you'll get good quality. So there you go. Okay, so the next hot tip on my 2019 list of how to organize your life, so to speak, is this guy right here. $50 from Canadian Tire. It's basically a cutting board, rolling kitchen storage thing, whatever you want to call it. They advertise, Canadian Tire here in north of Toronto, they advertise these things for about $139, but they seem to be forever on sale for $50. Okay, they're probably making them for $20. I don't know, in China someplace, I'm sure. But they have really helped me tremendously in a small studio. It's got a nice grab handle on the one side here. The hard cutting board I could care less about. The height I like. I mean, it's great for, usually I have a camera bag sitting on here with some lenses if I'm doing a certain project, and I can just move it around. I can put a PC monitor on here if I want to see what I need to see from the back of the camera. This thing has shelves that pull out like little baskets, and I have two of them right here behind me. You can see one here and the other one here. They're just like the handiest thing. And so one of my goals for 2019 is to, if you've looked at Tether tools, they make some really cool products. But the stand alone is like $250. That's a lot of money when I can buy something like this for $50. So I think for 2019, I'm going to take one of these and adapt it into something for a laptop. And when I do that, I'll come back and do another video and show you. But the bottom line is, if you're looking for something cheap, something that's great to roll around the studio, I find these things just like so handy. So go out and buy 10 of the damn things. I mean, I've got 3. I'm going to buy one for my daughter for her new apartment. So can't say enough about them. And this metal stuff, I mean, they use them in the factory at the company where I work. You'll see this stuff everywhere, right? So great tool for in the photo studio for sure. Check them out. Okay, so the next thing I thought I would share with you guys is these Cobalt tool cabinets that I purchased from Lowe's just before Christmas. So I think I was there on Black Friday and walking around, and I saw these things for under $200, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty good price. And before anybody says, oh, Cobalt is crap, I'm going to set you straight. It's not bad, actually. I worked as a car mechanic before I got into my day job that I've had for the last 20 years or so, but I was in the auto industry for a long time, so I've used Craftsman toolbox, Snap-on toolboxes, Husky, and now Cobalt. And so I was looking for something. I was toying around with the idea of building wood cabinets all the way across here. By the time you spend $500 on the plywood and the tools and the time to do all that, when I saw these toolboxes, I thought, wow, this is the way to go. So for the money, for, you know, $200 a piece, $400 all said and done plus tax, here in Canada anyways. So that's probably about $350 in the US, but I digress. They've really changed my life as well, because I've been able to organize everything, right? So on top drawer here, I've just got, you know, my LED lights, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, Gorilla Pods, different odds and ends. Next drawer down, I've got all my speed lights now. So instead of having them on the shelf with the potential to fall off, now I can keep them here. They're secure. I can lock it up if I need to. And just great. I put some cork underlay on the drawers, and then Next drawer here, I've got all my lenses, one of my camera bodies. Down the bottom, and I'll show you some pictures up on the right here, I have my heavy-duty studio lights. And so just getting all that stuff off the shelving here, getting it organized out of the way, it keeps the dust off it. Fantastic. Don't hesitate. If you're thinking about Cobalt or you're sort of on the fence, go and buy them. For the price you pay for them, you can't beat them. Compared to the Husky or the Craftsman's that I saw at Lowe's, these are by far well worth the money. The other one there, I've got a top drawer filled with tools, screwdrivers, pliers, everything I use in the studio here that I need to have handy. And then I've just filled out the other drawers. Haven't completely filled that cabinet out yet, but I'm getting there. But I should have done it 5 years ago. Just has been a great way to organize and keep things off the table here and out of the way so I can actually do what I need to do when I've got a shoot to do. So there you go. Okay folks, that'll pretty much wrap it up for this one. I hope you found what I've shown you to be useful, and don't hesitate to connect in if you got some ideas that would help me here. Next thing I want to work on are my backdrops. I use muslin backdrops instead of paper, and I'm looking for a way to organize those so I can switch between 3 or 4 different ones easily. But hey, I hope you found the microphone tips, the camera, the tripod stands, all this stuff to some use anyways. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos, and I can bring you more of them. And we'll see you soon. Take care for now.